everyone, and welcome to the Vintage Needle Crafter. My name is Laura. Welcome back, returning subscribers, and welcome new people. Welcome if you are new to my channel. This is my little corner where I love to sit down and discuss all things knit and crochet. Okay, so how is everyone doing so far this new year? I hope you're having a good one so far. I hope you're working on things that you enjoy, things that you are doing. Hope you're enjoying friends, family, and the like. How is your weather where you are? Here we are in Illinois, and we have had snow on the ground, just a little bit here and there. Just enough like a dusting to cover the ground, but then it melts away. So I'm a little bit disappointed with the lack of snowfall that we've had, because I always like the winter snow. I always like the nice whiteness, the cleanness. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna try not to make this one too long today. I just came on here to show you what I've been working on this week. I can never remember the name, or I can never remember the number of the podcast. I was numbering them for a while, but then I had stopped. I'm not sure if I'll be able to catch up on that, but I will try. I'll try again to put the numbers in. So I think we're not sure what number. Life is just going by, and we're just enjoying life. So numbers to me, well, anyway. What I am wearing today, you may have seen it before if you're a longer time viewer. This was a sweater that I finished last season. It was finished last spring. It was made with James C. Brett and also held double with a lace weight merino wool in a purple shade. And I'm just going to stand up so you can see a close-up view of the yarn. I love the color fade on this. I'm not even sure the number now, but you can find it over at Wool Warehouse. I just came along the sleeves and done a lace design going down, and then a lace design around the yoke and straight down each arm. So it's not perfect. There's a few mistakes in it. I'm not the best knitter. I've only been knitting for about 10 years, so it off and on. And lately, over the past 3 or 4 years, I really started to get back into knitting. But this is just one of those self-drafted in the round patterns that, and I learned a new skill this week. I learned a new skill. I learned how to make increases invisibly. They were pretty invisible before, as you really can't quite see. Maybe there you can see. Can't quite see the increases, but now I can make them to where you cannot tell at all. You can't even see the increases at all, which is what I wanted to achieve, since I make a lot of my sweaters top down in the round. So, yeah, and what needle size did I use for this? I think it was an 8 or 9. I'm not exactly sure. You can go back through my old videos, especially, it was like a year ago. Almost a year ago I finished it. But yeah, this one was a more snug fit. That's before I started making the yokes. Sorry. That's before I started making the yokes a little longer. So it's right up there, pretty tight. When I make them now, I make them much longer. A little bit of ease in there, in that area. But yeah, I can see the lace. I messed up a few times with that. But it was a fun make. I love the color fade on this yarn. So it's got a little bit of prickly, right, up here, a little bit, just slightly, and I can feel it just slightly on my arms. But other than that, the yarn is wonderful. I just wear a t-shirt underneath like I have today. Okay, Now, finished objects. Do I have any finished objects? No. I have a lot of whips. It's just one of those times to where I'm going through something. I'm going through a lot in life right now, actually. I might talk about that someday on my channel. I'm just not ready to yet. I don't want my channel to be about drama and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was very hard what I had to do. It took a lot of courage, but by God's grace, I was able to stand up for myself and do what I had to do. Anyway, so with that being said, lately I've just been casting on and just starting new projects like crazy. I think maybe I'm up to a dozen different things. Some are languishing, some I'm working on. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about whips. All right. And let's see, I'll start with the small. I showed you this before. And these are a pair of mittens that I've been knitting on. I have my needle stuck in there because I'm picking up the thumb stitches, and I do everything. I do everything in the round on Magic Loop method. So I'm just starting on the thumb. There's that one, and then this one. And this wool that I'm using, its name is Kodiak. I should find one with the label, but just have the thumbs to do on these little guys. And I just used a number 8 knitting needle and a 2x2 rib going straight up. And then before I started the thumb, I picked up 10 stitches going across this way on each one, and then put them on a yarn holder for an afterthought thumb. And I only used one ball, and this is what I have left, so I should have enough of this wool to finish. Now, Kodiak, this is a 100% roving wool, so it's the spin on it. It's not plied. It's just a plain, I can take it apart here and show you. It's just a plain, and if you unspin it just slightly, you'll be able to pull it apart very easily, see? So it's what I would call a roving single ply. But oh, it knits up so wonderful. Oh yeah, I could have envisioned a sweater with this, but I didn't have enough. I have, I think, 4 balls of that. But that will be enough. When I finish these mittens, I'm going to, of course, make myself a matching hat. I want to do that. And if I have any more, maybe a scarf. So we'll have a matching winter set. When I did my yarn advents, my plan was to make a pair of mittens with the leftover wool from that, but that didn't get finished. I don't even think it got started. I think I started to cast on and then thought, nah, I really don't need mittens to match the hat and scarf. The hat and scarf do me just fine. So, but when I saw this wool, I really wanted to make mittens because it's thicker, and I like my mittens thick. I don't like thin little mittens. It gets pretty cold out here, so yeah. All right, that's the first little whip, and the second little whip, I left the yarn label in the other room again, but that's okay. I'll just tell you about it. I didn't bring my crochet hook case out here either. Oh, I always forget things. I'm working on a little black shawl. This is a granny shawl. I make these a lot. Right now it's just big enough for a scarf. But I'm using this wool here. This is merino wool. This is Drops merino wool, just in the color black. I wanted something basic and neutral to wear to church when we get a little chilly in there. Or perhaps, you know, when days are cool. So, yeah, it's just a simple basic, granny stitch. It'll be just a simple little thing to wear. Yeah, I'm starting to feel the itchy a little bit on this sweater. If I get too warm wearing this, it'll do that. All right, and next thing. I'm working on my son's vest. I didn't choose that black. See, that black was supposed to be for his vest, but he didn't want that. So and here is my progress so far. I'm knitting this in the round. It's in the round, everyone. And I'm coming straight up, and then I'm going to divide the fronts and then the back and do it that way. I had made a vest like that last year for myself out of some hand spun. I'll show you that again sometime. But that's my progress. Yarns. This has good points and this has bad points. By itself, the way it is spun, it's when it's knitted, it looks like it's a little bit lumpy. I didn't like that. I wanted it to be more smooth. So I paired it with some very old Whisper Lace yarn, or no, Willow Stream. I paired it with some Willow Stream yarn, and I'm just holding that double. And if you can see on camera, this is a very, very dark blue-gray heather. Okay, and this is like a very dark olive green. So for him, he likes those army type colors. Army green, he calls it, just olive. This yarn, it was an Amazon purchase, and I'm not affiliated with them. It was just something I wanted to try. It's called, let's see, Sheep's Wool Worsted Yarn Super Soft. And it's got, but don't let the label fool you. It's not 100% wool now. Always, if you're buying on Amazon and it says wool, always check and see what it really is. This is 50% wool, 20% cotton, and 30% acrylic. So it has a very low acrylic blend, but it has an easy care label. You can machine wash it and dry it flat, which is what I like. I made the mistake again of putting one of my wool shawls, oops, get this in here. I made the mistake of putting one of my wool shawls into the washing machine. I was going to wash it and lay it flat. Oh no. And it was roving like that blue. You cannot do that. Even putting it in the machine on delicate will felt it. And it did. It felt it and it shrunk it. But I still wear it. I even tried to stretch it back out, but it was not the same. I won't do that again. I'm very new. I'm pretty new to a lot of wool. I don't have experience with a lot of wool. Most of my life have used cotton and acrylics, mostly acrylics. I'm trying to move away from so much acrylic and get into more real natural fiber. Plant-based and animal-based. But that's what this is. Oh, and the blue on here is a sport weight wool. Just a sport weight wool. 100% wool. It's a superwash wool. I don't know if it's merino or not, but it just said 100% superwash. And it was an old yarn that I had too in my stash. And I'm using just a number 8. Number 8 with that held double because I tried with the number 7. With the number 7, it was too tight. With the number 10, it was way too loose. So number 8 seems just right. So that's all I have on that. I'll put that away. Yeah. Okay, and I've been trying to rotate my projects to where I'm working on them simultaneously, but what's happening with that is nothing's getting finished. We just keep working on whips. So I need to put my focus on 1 or 2 things, and yeah. Now the pink, I didn't get that out, but I'll talk about that pink ribbed sweater. I had started working on the button band, and for some reason when I picked up the stitches, there's little holes here and there, so I had to do it over. I'm not pleased with that. I have to do that over. That's just too many holes. I could have brought it out to show you, but I could show you next time. But that's going to be redone. Now, I'm also been working on this. See, this is why nothing's getting done, because I keep working on too many things all at once. But I sure am making headway on this. And no, I'm not going to try it on today. But when I get the body done, I'll show you. This is another self-directed pattern. Now, if you look really close up in here, you can see those increases. But as you get down to, I don't know if you can be able to see, if you get down to the bottom, can you see any increases? I put in several in this color band right about in here. And they are pretty much invisible. You can't really see those. I don't even know if I can find them myself. Let me see. Okay, here's one. Right down there. Right in there. But that is pretty, I would say, invisible. I would say, but here you can see. But when I started doing them up here and in the round, they became quite invisible. So I learned that. I learned a new skill. And I also learned how to fix a dropped stitch. I had a dropped stitch right here, and I learned how to fix it instead of the old way, me being lazy and just pulling up on the stitch and throwing it back on the needle to reknit it. That's not good. You're going to see that stretch stitch, and that doesn't look pretty. So I learned how to do it by picking up with a crochet hook and going through the loop, you know, and picking up the bar and bringing it up, and then the next one. And so I learned a couple new things. Now, if only I could learn to do brioche. Brioche intimidates me. Brioche intimidates me. It's probably not intimidating at all. I used to think that about mosaic knitting. I used to think, oh, mosaic knitting, I can never do that. But I did. I did, and it's quite easy. So I just need to take some time and just sit with it and make a day of, I'm going to do it. But as I said before, this is a nice, super thick acrylic sweater. I am using scraps from leftover yarns that I had made a blanket with last year, Stylecraft Special. And I looked over there at Wool Warehouse. They don't sell this label anymore. They sell Stylecraft, but they call it baby yarn. I didn't see it, so I thought, okay. But I'm holding each of these double with the yarn down here, King Cole Poplar Chunky Meadow Mist. So it's making a nice color fade. And I wanted something colorful. I started with green, and then it went down to this blue, and then it went into kind of a darker teal, into the purple, and now into this kind of a muted purple pink. Then I'm going to go to pink. Oh, I'm just having fun with this one. It's just for funsies. And I made that yoke longer, so it sits longer. It's not like up here, like this one is, you know, which will felt your sweaters, and very quickly. I hand spun some wool about 1.5 years ago and made a my version ranunculus. I have a tutorial for that. It's similar to the ranunculus, but a little bit different. I call it my version ranunculus. And what happened is I made that yoke, you know, up too high, and you start to perspire, and then your yarn is going to felt and shrink in that area, which makes it even worse. So I have learned about that too. Also, wearing a little something underneath is also helpful. All right, now what else? I'm going to show you. Ah, yes. I haven't worked on this week. So what I'm going to show you is probably what you've already seen from last week. Yeah. It's the sweater, the crochet sweater. I need to start working on this and finish this one. I'd like to finish this one next. So, see, I've got a lot of whips going on, but nothing's getting finished. And I've been busy and haven't been working as much as I should. So this is going to be real nice. I'm just not convinced that it's my color. This may be gifted. I don't know. That's probably why I didn't pick it back up, because the colors are like, meh, on me. So, but we'll see. We'll see when it gets all finished. All right, and then I'm not sure if I showed you this one at all last week. Not sure if I showed you this. And this is also a scrap project. Do you see a theme going on here? Well, yes, there is a theme going on here a little bit. I am wanting to use up and make projects the rest of the winter time using my stash yarn, my acrylic thrift store stash yarns. I'm wanting to use some of them up. Also, I did a closet clean out a few days ago, and I notified my friends, hey, I'm cleaning out my closet here, and all handmade sweaters. You know, if you want them, just tell me what color and what you like, and it'll be yours. I have a whole tub full, because, you know, you can only wear so many things. You can only keep so many things. Being a podcaster, we tend to do more projects, you know, and we tend to make more things, and a lot of things become beloved pieces that we keep and keep until they wear through, and some are just wear for time, and I'm going to pass that on to someone else. All right, here is this. I'm not sure if I showed you this. This pattern, isn't this wonderful? It's beautiful. This is a granny stitch as well, my favorite design. This design is by Craft and a Cuppa. And you know what? I think I make this way too big. I think I did. But that's all right, because it's going to be it's an open front cardigan that and I could just wrap it around. But I'm right up here at the arms now, and it's right down to, it's right where I want it. It's right where I want it. And now I'm ready to divide for the arms. And this project here, I think I did show you this last week, is using a lot of acrylic yarns. So I think it's very pretty. It's fall colors. And I'm just using, like I said, different types of acrylic yarn. There's some Red Heart Super Saver in there. There's some Karen Simply Soft in there. And then just odds and ends that I've gotten from thrift stores and the like. But this is going to be long sleeve. I made it oversized. I hope I didn't make it too big. I have a tendency to do that, because I got to remember, acrylic will stretch. Acrylic will stretch and grow, especially after you wash it and dry it. As wool, just the total opposite. It shrinks. So with wool, you want it to be a little oversized in the beginning, as when you wash it, like this one, when I washed it, it not grew, it closed in a little bit more. Okay, and that's it. That's everything. I think next time I'm gonna bring out languishing whips and talk about what is buried in that closet for things I have not worked on in years, or longer than 6 months haven't worked on. Yeah, that's really interesting. Do you have that too? Do you have languishing whips just laying around that well, you wanted to finish, but then something come up, or you just got tired of working on it, or it didn't bring you joy and just kind of languished and laid there. You changed your mind and wanted to make something else. That happens. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that. So, I got a lot of these bags, and this is where I keep all the big projects. And then every night when I work on projects, I work on projects a couple times a day. In the late morning, after my part 1 of house chores is finished, let me tell you something. When you get a little older and you get arthritis, I have arthritis, osteoarthritis in my knee. And when that happens to you, you can't go from hours and hours cleaning like you used to. So what I do is I get up and have my breakfast and everything and wake up a little bit, and then I will do part 1 of house chores. It's about half the things. And then I will have a sit down time, and that's when I have my coffee. Right now, this is Thursday when I'm filming this, and it's 10:20. And I came in here to film. I didn't do my part 1 house chores, but when I finish, I will. After that, I will sit down probably around noon and have coffee. I rarely eat lunch. I'm not a lunch person. Once in a while I will, but most days, no. I will just have coffee and then just keep going about the day. And then after dinner, when things are cleaned up, I will sit down and also work on projects again while watching television with my sons whenever they are home and not working. So that's everything, and that's all I had to talk about today, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. January is the month where some people kind of experience a little bit of winter blues, but hang in there, like they always say, spring is just around the corner. I've already been thinking about spring things, so with that being said, you all take care. Please be sure to hit the like button if you like this video. Consider subscribing if you have not done that yet. Someday I hope to reach that 1,000 goal. That goal of 1,000. I'm getting there. Thank you all for your support. But if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I'd appreciate that so very much. Thank you, everyone. Take care and have a wonderful week. Bye, friends.